Welcome to the first day of the IETA Esports Showcase. We've got 2 days of esports action ready to bring to you across the games of Rocket League, Smash Bros, and Overwatch. On the first day, we've got a Rocket League and Smash Bros match to bring to you. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by AJ Pepley, both from Boise State Esports, call all of the action for you. Now, AJ, we're going to be starting out in Rocket League with the Cavemen going up against the Kraken. Two teams ready to make their mark in IETA history, both of which generally provided to us by CUNA's esports program. So as we look at the Cavemen versus the Kraken, in a long matchup of Rocket League, which for those of you who don't know, we're going to be playing a best of 7. Each round lasts 5 minutes. So we have the potential to go 30 minutes to an hour here. What advice would you give to players to kind of keep their heads cool, keep their heads in the game, make sure they don't burn out in what could be a long match?
Well, in general, since we're starting off with this, it's usually going to be better off because you're going to have more energy to start things off and just kind of be more pumped up as you go. But as things get further in and you potentially start doing not as well as you hope, it's just good to remember that there's so much time that they have to work with here. And a lot of that time could be getting multiple goals within just a few seconds. So these players need to remember that even if they don't have much time to work with, they could still make a big difference.
Well, off we go as we see Slump taking the ball clear on over into his own territory. However, that's a lot of territory to give up ground to. However, he could have left it opening for the other team, but he's able to keep the ball away from them. He's going to try to center around. Maybe he made it a doomsday. He'll be able to get the first goal of the game, put the Cavemen on the board.
It seems like Oni actually managed to take that goal at the last second, even though Slump was taking control of the ball for the majority of it. See, getting that last touch right there. So we still appreciate Slump getting most of that progress towards the goal, but hey, you got to keep that teamwork in there.
Next kickoff. Oh my goodness, clear. Yeah, right in there.
Wow.
Sometimes you try to play mind games with these initial kickoffs. You try to fake them out, not go for it at the very end. It just looks like that actually wasn't the case there. It just looks like a little bit case of misreading the ball. Sometimes you try to outmaneuver your opponent, and then your opponent just goes for the ball, and the one who hits the ball tends to put it into the goal.
This time around, better control on both sides, staying in pretty neutral territory as Slump tries to go for that air touch. Your dog is able to take control of it and put it towards the other team's side here. Pretty close to the goal. The Walnut is there to take control back of the ball once again.
Ray following in tow, but Super Evil Walnut has the dribble. Nice block by your dog. It's going to send it back to mid-territory. We'll get one touch on it, drive it on into the goal, and that'll be the first on the board for the Kraken.
The Cavemen able to get their second point of the game. Things are pretty balanced right now between Cavemen only having a slight advantage here. But it definitely helps just getting these goals really fast to start things off because you're allowing yourself to get in a good headspace early on into the game.
Next kickoff, 3:12 on the timer. Ball's going to go slightly on in favor toward the Cavemen. And I'll have it in Kraken territory, but now Kraken on a quick counterattack. Your dog doesn't have anyone to pass to, just trying to keep it away from the Cavemen. Slump gets one touch on it. It's going to be centered in front of the Caveman's goal. Shot back over to mid, will play off the wall. One touch from Kraken will keep the ball contested. Cavemen haven't been able to find a full clear or put any sort of offensive pressure on. We'll see how Slump can do as he tries to play off the wall and ceiling.
He's actually been able to fake out the Krakens pretty well. We saw it right there. He's able to dodge past a couple of them. So if he was able to keep this going, that put things pretty well in the Cavemen's favor. But we currently see the rest of the Krakens trying their best to defend their goal as it gets over to Kraken territory.
Oh, that is a nice one right there by Slump. Very good setup here, having to look on Oni, gets a touch on it, sets it up, and then it's Slumped with the follow-up. That's how most of those goals go in. It's not usually the first tap, but the second. If you have a team well-coordinated enough, that's how you're going to score a lot.
We see getting into the kickoff, we're at about 2.5 minutes, halfway through the first round. Things starting off in Kraken territory, but your dog going for a pretty good hit towards the goal of the Cavemen, and right past defense. Securing their second goal of the game. A very quick goal from your dog, just managing to get past everyone else on the Cavemen's team.
Super Evil Walnut, man, just didn't have the boost or resources to be able to gain the altitude he needed to have that save. So now we're going to be bringing it back to a one-goal game. Cavemen leading 3-2. Now Cavemen coming, possible follow-up on the kickoff goal. Slumped holds back a little bit, actually. He's going to wait for the Krakens to try to make a play across mid. Nothing much comes of either team, so we're going to have to go back to midfield. Ball still up for grabs. Shot blocked, and The ball still stays midfield.
See Oni going for that offensive push, but Wrath is ready to defend against Oni. Slumped is trying to, he manages to push it towards the goal, and right off the crossbar. I thought that wasn't going to go in, but it bounced directly into the goal, just barely.
Yeah, so
Great
many
shot there from Slump.
So many times it bounces off the crossbar, but every now and then, like 10% of the time, the crossbar will be your best assist. So
just that
nice turn of events.
Angle. Yeah.
Next kickoff, 150 left in game one. Demo right off a kickoff. Your Dog will send it on back to midfield. Slumped and actually had a double commit there by the Cavemen trying to go for the ball at the same time. Your Dog places a quick one toward the goal, but the shot is wide. Will go past back post into the back corner. And Cavemen now scrambling to try to find some sort of clear. Slump does have a lot of boost and can work with it. Gets it to mid. Pinch, though, back from the Krakens. Will find the Cavemen defending yet again. Things still being kept a little interesting because the Krakens still have enough time to realistically score 2 goals.
Cavemen are putting up a pretty good defense right now, dealing with Wrath and Gray at the same time, while Dog just stays in the back line, ready to defend. Especially now, as we see they started to push it forward, but Your Dog was there at the ready, immediately stopping the Cavemen's push, but Slumped is not ready for that, pushing it even closer to the Kraken's goal.
1 minute left in the first game. Cavemen now with a pretty comfortable lead of 2 goals. Rule of thumb is you want about 30 seconds for each goal, so Krakens are right on the border of what is feasibly possible. Sometimes you can get goals scored in quick, short succession, but that usually requires some good luck off of the kickoff. Right now, though, more than half of the time is bled away from the Krakens. They need to score a goal here and now. Slump, though, with a great clear, is going to buy even more time for the Cavemen.
The Krakens are doing their best to keep pushing that offense, but the Cavemen are just continuing to be a thorn in their side. Your Dog is playing great defense, but Oni is just being a pain right now. Finally, Dog is able to push it past that midfield, but Slump is there at the defense, ready to start pushing it back towards the goal once again. The rest of the team is on the other side.
Oh, no.
Oni has a perfect opening right here. Even if they don't score a goal, they still have so much room to work with as only the last few seconds tick down on the clock.
And one final demo to end it off. Gray will get demoed, and Cavemen go into the Game 1 win for this series. It's a good start, but still plenty of room left to go in a best-of-7 matchup. So,
yeah, like we mentioned at the start, it might be off to a bit of a rough start for the Krakens, but like we said, there's so much time here to work with. If they continue to push forward, they still have at least 3 more rounds that they have to push through. And in any of those rounds, they could switch up their strategy. They could switch up the placements of each of their players. It doesn't really matter what that specific thing is. They can still find something to get that edge and start pushing forward and putting the games in their favor.
And there is something to said around the 3 to 4 game mark. You know, normally you're 20 to 30 minutes into it. That's when we usually start to see things get interesting, because when attrition sets in, not as many shots are made. There's a little bit more opportunity for quick breakaway plays against a missed shot, a missed pass, lack of coordination from the other team. That's usually the surprise factor when it comes into these best-of-7 matches. So we might have that be more of a possibility as we go on and on. But right now we are on Game 2, moving on over to the Forbidden Temple stage in Rocket League, one of the more picturesque backdrops for the preceding event.
Yeah, I imagine as we continue to go through these rounds, both teams are going to slowly learn the other team's strategies and general moves here, and that might make things go a little bit slower, so we'll see how that ends up going as we start off the second round. Going into the kickoff, the Cavemen already have a great advantage here, keeping things on the Kraken side, but Your Dog once again playing effective defense, just doing their best to keep it away from their goal, and is now able to get it back towards the Cavemen side once again.
Gray moving it around the corner, trying to center it for a teammate. Follow-up attempted, but it's a blocked shot due to the positioning of the defenders. Now we're going to have a quick counterattack to the other side of the field. Slumped eyeing that ball, trying to get a touch on it. Dog will be the one to push it back toward mid.
Hitting it back towards their own goal, just trying to keep things steady as they can get themselves in a better position to push towards the Kraken's goal. Your Dog's just staying there at the ready to knock it away, and backed up by Wrath at the same time, but the rest of the Cavemen were there to back them up. Dog is starting to push forward again. Oni goes for a good touch, block. Slump is trying to use their boost to just get a good advantage here. Your dog is still waiting on the other side. It's good to have this balance of players, some playing offense, some playing defense. Sometimes you can switch them around and balance the two, so it depends on how each team's preference. But so far, the Krakens are balancing out pretty well. Unfortunately, though, they lose one. Gray Boy going down into demolition.
Oh, quick shot by your dog. Very well aimed onto the goal, putting the Krakens on the board. First for game 2.
I guess that proves my point, though. Like I was saying, you can switch things around. Dog is usually playing on defense, but then we've seen a couple different points where he's managed to push forward and start getting a couple of those goals in.
The one thing you can't say for the Cavemen, though, is they did have someone who rotated in to be the defender. Often the worst thing that can happen is when your team isn't coordinated enough, you don't have anyone who is there to save, and you leave the open goal. So might have missed that one, but the fundamentals are there for the Caveman to start a retake of this game. And quick shot by Slump. I spoke, and it came into being. We have a 1-1 game now. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left.
Yeah, we saw just at that last moment that they were at a pretty rough spot. Wrath was trying to go there for the block, but Slump was just a little too fast, and Wrath was not in a very advantageous angle. So he just had a really good shot to work with there. So now we're 1-1 as we're about 2 minutes into the match.
Very nice kickoff win by Gray. Ball will go just toward the right post. A lot of altitude towards it. Can the Caveman find any sort of clear? Slump pushes a huge one back on, and your dog gets a very nice save, keeping the Krakens in the lead. So we pass the 3-minute mark, left in the match. Quick follow-up, will score it for Slump, and Caveman go back into the lead.
That was some effective teamwork right there. Oni was keeping the pressure high on himself, but then Slump came out of, well, I was going to say left field, that's right field. Just came out of nowhere, catching the Krakens off guard and scoring their second goal, putting them in the lead as we get just under 3 minutes left in the match.
Oh, again, everyone trying to kind of fake each other out on where they're going to go for the kickoff, but it's just the one who goes straight for the ball that ends up making contact. Ray trying to play off the wall. Now has a good dribble going. Slump to take it away from him, but he doesn't deflect it enough. Costly, dangerous situation here as the ball is still centered. Now it'll head off to the corner. Walnut fills up on the 100 in the corner. Slumped going in for the shot, but Kraken beat him right to it.
Oni tried to go for that hit, was not able to find a good shot. Now the rest of the Krakens are grouped up right now. If the Cavemen are able to find a good shot, that could spell disaster, but fortunately your dog with full boost is there at the ready to start defending. This could be bad as Xander goes for a shot, but misses it just barely.
I like seeing the disruption, the bumping coming out there from the Kraken, messing up the play that the Cavemen wanted to make. Still, though, Cavemen maintain the lead as we pass 2 minutes left in this match. Your dog left chasing after the ball, picks up the 100 on the side. Instead, will go quite a ways up his own field, doesn't make contact with it. Now ball back off to the far corner, back to mid.
Oh, that could be huge. Oh, Slumped with the great block right there. Krakens had full control of the ball, but he managed to use all that boost to get back there just in time to block and not balance out the scores again.
Very well-timed rotation to keep the Caveman in the lead. Ball off in the right corner. Slump left chasing after it. Gets the 100 boost. Might try to do it himself. His own follow-up. Ball's high off the crossbar. And it won't go quite across. Remember, this is soccer rules. That ball must get all the way across the line. 1 pixel, and you're still denied.
Wow. Now we see they were able to get it back towards the Caveman goal once again. A little over a minute left, and they have full control right now. Gray Boy and Wrath are trying to do their best to get it towards the goal again. Your dog is backing them up, going for the defensive line to knock it right up next to the goal. This could be a good shot right in there, balancing it out at just a minute left. There's not much time here to work with both teams at 2-2. This could be huge. Not much time here to work with, but 1 goal is all that one team could need to score the second round.
Should a goal not be scored before the time, as the timer hits 0 and we have a tie? Well, unlike regular soccer, we will not accept ties in Rocket League. We have to go to overtime. Golden goal situation where the first one to score a goal in overtime will win it. But that's a little bit of a ways off. We still got about a minute left. Both teams are left chasing after the ball. We got a bit of bunch ball going on right now as everyone's just trying to gain contact with it. Slump now taking the defensive position, misses the save, leaving it open for Wrath, but he doesn't make good contact with the ball, so the shot just dies out on the front post, and 30 seconds left for either team to take the lead.
Some pretty close shots right there. Evil Walnut has a pretty good spot to work with. Your dog misses the block and gets taken out. Wrath was there to defend just at the last second. 20 seconds left on the clock. Currently, it is on Kraken's side, so they're at a slight disadvantage right now. But if they're able to regain control They could get it back towards the Caveman side and score a goal. Currently, your dog is going for that. Fakes it past.
Oh, huge opening.
Could get a huge goal right here. Just blocked at the last second by Slumped. 5 seconds left, and we might be going to overtime if nobody's able to score a goal.
As long as the ball stays in the air, time will continue, but it hits the ground. We go officially into overtime. Now looking for that golden goal. 1-in wins for either team. Slumped makes first contact on the follow-up for Cavemen. Can they turn that into a full clear? Your dog. That's a shot up mid. Walnut is able to block it.
Greyboy continues to push it towards Caveman's side right now. Currently, the Krakens are doing a pretty good job of keeping the pressure high, even when a ball gets knocked back towards the territory. Your dog is there for the shot and across the map. Oh, just barely saved by Slumped once again, playing some effective defense.
Your dog now. I thought he could have the shot there, but he doesn't get quite the contact he wanted. The angle is a little awkward, but now we'll get another chance for your dog, especially after that miss here. This is for the Caveman, Kraken to put in right there, and he just barely contact from Caveman. The defender there was just able to push it off into the corner, divert the shot enough, and wow, that's close. That's a dangerous situation. Both teams leaving the goal open a little bit more than they would care to.
Your dog got demoed, taking away the defender for just a second, but fortunately they're able to push it towards the Caveman's goal once again, allowing him to respawn with enough time to help battle. You see Wrath trying to just get in a good advantageous position here, but Slumped is pushing past, trying to take control of the ball here. Xander goes for the shot. Your dog getting a good block, doing a great job of conserving that boost for exactly when they need it.
Ball's going to drop down, however, right off the backboard. Follow-up from your dog, and again, that's 3 shots he's tried to make and just hasn't been able to get full frontal contact with it. And sometimes you just push too far up on the field. You leave your own goal open. And even from that one actually...
that was one of the longer overtimes that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, sometimes it is just a clear like that. If you leave your own goal open, those can turn into goals. So now that's 2 in the bag for the Cavemen. Kraken, though, still have plenty of time to bring this back.
Yeah, but like we were saying earlier on to the matches, you see more goals, but then as you get further in, you start to see less. And I guess that switch happened real quick because those first 2 goals happened, and there was so much dead time in between getting that last goal, even going almost 2 minutes into overtime. So that just shows that both of these teams definitely locked down having those 2 main attackers, 1 main defender. I saw that on each side, even managing to switch between sometimes when the situation called for it. So both these teams have relatively similar play styles, I can see. And that's putting it at a bit of a stalemate sometimes.
Well, one thing I'm also noticing is just the resource management from both teams. There are a lot of moments where they run out of boost at the very worst moment. You know, just as they're about to make the shot, the ball gets away from them. And as we go into the third game, a little bit of Rocket League 101, you see all those glowy bits in the corner of the field, those little orbs. Those are boost. If you grab them, you fill up your boost meter, and just like the name suggests, you can go much faster when you use boost. So the players can completely refill their boost gauges if they hit those orbs, or on all the other little yellow dots, they'll refill it a little across all of the arena. So pay attention to that speedometer in the lower right corner. That's how much boost each player has, and the more boost they have, the more stunning plays they might pull out.
Having those defending players is pretty helpful because they're really close to each of those full refills. They're able to have that full boost basically whenever they need it. That's why we typically see your dog with full boost at the ready because they're playing that defense. The uncontested orbs at the side right there for whenever that he needs to push forward.
Now, Ray trying to make his way up the field, gets the boost on the side. We'll get a little bit of contact from Caveman, but it's not enough to stop the ball from being centered. And no shot will come from that, but it was a great opportunity. Now Slumped, whiffs that shot. Ball will still stay midfield as we got a demo midfield onto Oni.
That was a great shot right past Slumped. Out of nowhere. They're able to take control of it once again, and I'm telling you, these switches between defense to offense on your dog here have just been really, really effective. I think this is the 3rd so far. But it's gone from just staying at the goal to just pushing it right past everything that the Caveman had.
Kickoff win, clear in favor of the Caveman, but quick counterattack by your dog, and he's coming in hot with 100 boost. But can he set it up for a teammate? Looks like he's just going to wait for the ball to lose its air momentum. Oh, he dives in under it too soon. And what could have been a great opportunity is instead going to be passed on by. Another demo onto Oni.
We see currently the ball's up in the air on the Kraken territory. Anyone's trying to touch the ball right now. The Kraken's just about retook control, but this Cavemen are just knocking it into the air. Your dog with a great save out of nowhere, just doing their best to block Slumped. Evil Walnut with full boost now, just trying to take the ball away from their side. 2 demos back to back, leaving each team at 2. Oni is currently uncontested, but Your Dog using that boost, just barely able to push it back towards the goal again.
Slumped playing up the field, trying to fake out Gray, but he loses the dribble on the ball. Your Dog goes for the shot, gets beaten to it by the Cavemen. A lot of really close contests, a lot of 50s that could have gone either way. We'll see the ball sent to the back corner yet again. Wrath will go in. Your Dog, he's just waiting for a follow-up, but the situation doesn't present itself, so he's going to try to prevent the clear for now.
See Wrath ready to try and take control of the ball again as the Cavemen pushing towards Kraken's territory. Your Dog with another great block, playing great defense right here and immediately faking out, using all of that boost and pushing it towards the Cavemen's goal. Definitely see that strategy. At the moment that block goes into play, they just employ that strategy of pushing as far forward as possible. Given the fact that they have so much boost to work with, this could be huge. Oh, but Your Dog is not able to get it in. And Slumped is there to try and take control of the ball again with a lot of boost to work with.
Back we go to midfield. Oni gets a solid shot on it. Wow. Scores on an open goal.
Uncontested right there, just getting it across the map. Sometimes that's all you need is that good opening, pushing it past the rest of the team who can't do anything about it, and then you get that goal. 1-1, even slower in terms of goals as we're under about half of the match remaining.
Next kickoff. Looks like Your Dog gets the better contact off of it. Gets a bit of ground for the Krakens. Demo onto Oni, but they're unable to get the shot on goal. Now Walnut trying to look on, see if he can play past Gray. He gets knocked out of the way, goes back to try to make contact with it, but it's going to be Oni, his teammate, instead. He goes in for the follow-up, but he does not have any boost, so he can't get to the ball quick enough.
See Dogs setting up for a good shot here, backed up by Wrath and Greyboy. They're all there at the ready to knock it forward. But there's a lot of boost there on the side from the Cavemen, but Wrath takes down Slump with a good demo to just start edge things slightly in their favor. Currently in neutral territory. Slump getting a good shot, knocking it back towards the Krakens. Greyboy going up against the wall, trying to get a good angle. This might be difficult, but they could not get a good shot into the goal right there, allowing the Krakens to reconvene and start pushing forward towards the Cavemen's goal once again.
Your Dog gets one shot on it, tries to keep it going. Nice block from Slumped. Back in contention in mid. Walnut going in. Just trying to wait for the verticality of the ball to die out. Slumped for the follow-up. This could be good. Right off the post. Is there another follow-up? No, there isn't. And the Cavemen lose an opportunity to go in the lead again.
Man, there's a lot of airtime from the ball right now. People are just waiting for it to come back down so they can take it again. We're not seeing that right now as Your Dog goes for a good push. Manages to take down Walnut. And Slump gets a good save, though, just barely out of the corner. Only trying to take control, but it keeps getting pushed forward towards the Kraken's territory. Trying to get that good angle. Good shot from Your Dog. Wrath trying to find a good opening, and out of nowhere with 30 seconds left, the Krakens take it in their favor.
Yeah, he slams on his brakes a bit too late here, and if anything, this just makes it easier for them to get the shot. Walnut, had he steered right or kept the momentum going, I think the ball would have followed him off to the side, but shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Sometimes those last second decisions are just out of your control and just barely are what you don't need to happen. Last 30 seconds, like it says, the Cavemen just have to score one more goal if they want to push it towards overtime, and the Krakens just want to win this one. They just got to make sure the Cavemen don't score anything.
Oh, quick shot. Oh, there was a nice bit of team play there, setting it up for each other.
We see Wrath trying to take control. Greyboy going for a pretty good shot. Your Dog pushing forward. Oh, this could be huge. Uncontested. Could be a third goal, putting them in an even further advantage with only 5 seconds left. The Cavemen have very little time to work with. Krakens are finally making that bit of a comeback that they're hoping for here. Oh man, you see that right there. There's nothing there to stop them. Slump did their best to get in there, but man, there was almost nothing they could do.
Theoretically possible for the Cavemen to tie it, but the goal has to be instantly scored off the kickoff, which it is not. So that'll mean the Krakens will get their first game of the series, make it a contested series 2-1. Currently, Cavemen still leading, but Kraken catching one great second win there.
Great job for the Krakens, just out of left field, scoring that goal, and then another one just with such little time left to work with, keeping the pressure high on the Cavemen, finally getting that first score that they were hoping for. So now we will at least see that 5th round, so things are going to go on a little bit further. Maybe the Krakens will continue to push forward, or maybe the Cavemen will have a little bit of a better idea of what to do up against the Krakens, and just hopefully try and push forward and get that win that they're hoping for.
I don't know if it's kind of a metaphorical pendulum that always swings when you make it a best-of-7 match. I mean, sometimes I do see 4-0 sweeps in best-of-7 matches, but it's just some invisible force. It's like gravity. It's a constant where best-of-7s quickly, go from a minimum of 4 rounds to a guaranteed round 5 to a guaranteed round 6 to a guaranteed round 7. Both teams just have a way of evening it up with each other. The question is, what will this game decide? Because this is a very crucial break point in Game 4 here. If the Cavemen win, they move on to match point and have 3 games to work with to find one more win. But if we see the Kraken win instead, scores 2-2, and we've essentially reset the match to a best-of-3 from here on out.
Well, we'll see how that ends up going. So far, the Cavemen got a great start there in the kickoff, knocking it directly towards the Kraken's goal. Not getting that point just yet, but they're able to start just keeping the pressure high on the Krakens. We see Slump even trying to go for a good shot, just barely blocked by Dog. Currently gets pushed back towards neutral territory, as most of the Cavemen have full boost right now. That's going to be pretty dangerous if the Krakens can't refill their boost to fight back.
Slump with possession of the ball, goes right, slams right into Your Dog. Now Your Dog taking possession of the ball, able to get it past one. Slumped picks up. Oh, he doesn't pick up his 100 instead. His Wrath goes in for the shot, but there isn't any follow-up. Your Dog way too far back on the field, and that could have been a great opportunity for the Krakens, but Cavemen, thanking their lucky stars, they were able to walk away from that one.
Oh, and there it is, just barely missing the goal right there. Oh, the Krakens got so close to scoring, then so close to getting scored against. Things are extremely close right now. Power teamwork just trying to push it forward. Oni there has full boost, just ready to take things in their favor again, as he just glances right up against the goal once again. Oni starts pushing it forward back towards Kraken territory. Your Dog is ready to defend, also with full boost. This could be huge, especially with Evil Walnut getting taken down with the demolition.
Oh, bit of misjudge there on the timing. Leaves it possibly open for a goal, but shot is too wide, goes into the back corner. Now on the reset, Oni going up against Your Dog, has an opportunity if he can drive it in, but can't get the clear shot on the goal. And Game 4 has really quieted down in terms of the actions. We're almost 2 minutes in, 0 goals for either team.
Continue to prove our point of the further on into the matches you get, the less points start to get scored. See Oni trying to bring it towards the territory. Your Dog going for another a cool front flip to launch it back towards the Caveman side, but immediately Slumped is there playing good defense, just able to retake control, and Oni pushes it to the other side of the field, just trying to keep it as far away from the Krakens as possible.
Oh, Oni.
Ooh, Dog, this
goes
could
in
be
for
huge.
the shot. He's just trying to get the right angle for it, but nice still keeping that pressure up. He gets demoed in return. Slump now making space for his team again. Oni off the respawn is going to be able to help with this goal, but He's Wrath takes it away from the Cavemen. Nice block by Oni. He's going to get the side control back for the Cavemen. At least keep that pressure up.
See Oni trying to take the ball, but in the middle of that crashes into Greyboy out of nowhere.
Oh,
just
nice
barely
read.
Blocked by Slumped. This is such a stalemate right now. We're getting closer to the 2-minute mark here, and 0 points have been scored right now. Both these teams are playing so efficiently right now. Oni trying to go in for a good goal, but Your Dog there to block it. Slumped, this could be huge.
Nice.
Taking the first goal at just about 2 minutes left in the match. Finally getting things set off on this 4th round here. Yeah, just out of nowhere, just that slight bump. Your Dog just barely missing that angle to block it once again. So many good blocks with that good skill. Can't always last forever. Got to see if that stays in their favor. Ooh, starting off well in the kickoff, launching it towards the Caveman's side. Wrath trying to go for a good goal, but Oni's able to retake control. Wrath looking for that good angle. Ooh, your dog taking down Oni out of nowhere. Gray Boys looking for a good angle to knock it into the goal. Wrath with full boost, trying to get that same thing. But Oni's able to retake control, starts launching it towards the goal, but another great block from your dog. Isn't able to completely launch it towards the Caveman territory, though, and it's still on north near the Kraken's goal.
Nope, not able to make it there, but still Caveman, as long as they can keep it in the Kraken's half. Let that timer become their best friend. They can ride this out to victory.
See your dog having a pretty good amount of boost, but it's knocking away right as they try to start pushing it forward again. Wrath trying to find a good angle, launches right around the ball. Ooh, just barely missing that bar. See it launch towards Caveman territory, finally putting things on the side that the Krakens are hoping for as we reach about a minute left in the game. Krakens have to step it up in this last minute if they want to try and finally balance things out, but it's going to be difficult as things get launched towards their goal. Gray Boy finally trying to take control once again. Your dog looking for that good angle. Super Evil Walnut is there to back them up. Your dog finally launching it back towards the Caveman's goal, but Slumped is there just playing that defense. It's looking extra sketch right now. Your dog gets taken down in a demolition. Oni launches it up into the air, maybe just trying to keep the ball out of their possession as long as possible. This could be a good goal right here if the Super Evil Walnut. Oh, man. So many close calls right here. Wrath takes down Oni. See your dog trying to get that good angle right there. Last 10 seconds. They got to do something ASAP.
Looks like Caveman, as long as they can get one sort of clear here, will have their ticket to victory. And as the ball's on the ground, as the timer hits 0, that will be it. Caveman now go up 3-1. And are now very favored to win this, having 3 opportunities to just get one more win.
Yeah, things are looking pretty dangerous for the Krakens right now. It's not impossible. I've seen some pretty impressive comebacks here, and we've seen how well the Krakens played. That entire round was 1 goal the entire time. You can't really get much lower than that in terms of scoring goals. So there's so much tension right now for both these teams, just making sure that they have everything locked down as much as they possibly can, having their strategies, having their placements, just having that reaction time especially. You really got to take note of that reaction time, keeping their eye on the ball and making sure they look for everything that's going on and reacting to it as quickly as they possibly can. There's been so much of that, especially in that last round. So props to both teams for just keeping that reaction time on point.
Well, for all the talk that we do, about strategy, about boost, about team rotations and all that, what I honestly think it's going to come down to as the main decider of this match is going to be those individual mechanical abilities from every play. Because we saw plenty of time from the Cavemans. They set up the ball great. Their team made a great, you could say offensive drive toward the enemy goal. But when it comes to that final shot, you got to make sure you make clean contact with it so that the ball goes into the goal. And that's just something that comes down to each individual player. You got to play the best game that you can play. It comes down to you at the end of the day.
Quite the interesting start with the kickoff here, getting it real close to the Caveman's goal, but also a demo onto the enemy team, and the demo just now onto Oni. There's so many demos already in the first 15 seconds, and a third. What is happening right now? Just trying to take him out as much as possible, but even then, the ball gets real close to the Kraken's goal right now. Your dog finally able to start pushing things towards the enemy team's goal. Slump doing his best to stay on that defensive drive here. Wrath is trying to push it forward again, just keeping the pressure high on the Caveman. The dog is trying to push forward, just deciding to rear back towards the goal, seeing that it was probably a best move to just try and rear around.
Slump now goes in. He's actually going to pass clear across his own field, get into a little better territory for them to set up their offensive drive. Now Oni looking to sneak it in, but your dog takes it away from him. Back into the corner. First minute gone by, no score for either team. And we have demos traded between both teams, but that leaves the goal open for your dog. Trying to put it in, and he gets the final chip shot in to put the Krakens on the board.
Krakens getting the first goal, putting things in their favor as you get just about a minute into the game here. Your dog got a couple good dribbles there and managed to weave past both Slumped and Oni. Walnut wasn't able to get close to try and knock the ball out at that last second. I've seen a lot of them weaving past the enemy team. That's something that Krakens have definitely been good at in terms of just scoring these goals.
Bounce off the backboard. Slump goes in. Oh, That's what I'm talking about right there. It's moments like that. It's a great opportunity, but it's the accuracy of the shot at the end of the day. And if Cavemen aren't able to start taking more advantage of those types of opportunities, then we're going to see this game go on longer and longer, possibly all the way to Game 7. Kraken's still in it. They're pressed up against their own goal. Oni goes for the shot on goal, doesn't find it. Nice block by the Krakens. And we'll see a demo onto your dog from Oni. And another one traded back. He's Wrath. Back onto Oni in retribution. Things getting a little bit chippy on the field.
Well, yeah, this has been a very demo-heavy game, definitely on both sides, too. It's been pretty balanced here. But we see this could be big. Your dog going for a pretty good block there. There's a relatively simple arc there. He had a pretty good spot there to just get in a good angle, block it. Oh, right there off the backboard, just barely. Oh, like you said, it's just those individual shots, but right as I say that, once again off the bar. Wow. Knocking it into his own goal, Wrath. That was rough. Things were just so difficult, so tense in those last few seconds. Oh, man, that must be crushing to see just doing your best to try and knock it out of the goal, only to do the exact opposite. Balancing things out as we get about halfway into the game. Kickoff starting things in the Cavemen's favor, knocking it towards the Kraken's goal. Your dog going for some pretty good defense, just driving up against the wall, getting that pretty good dribble, taking control and launching it towards the Cavemen's side. But right as I say that, gets launched back towards neutral territory. Another demo.
Your dog centered right there. Great opportunity, passed on by. Your dog now back, moving their way back up on the field into the back corner. Who's going to take this to get the clear? Looks like it's going to be Slumped. Walnut doesn't play off it. Instead, it's going to be Oni who gets the next touch. And missed by Slumped. Means that the Krakens struggling to clear it out of their own territory.
Another diminution onto Oni. Krakens get a slight advantage here, just having less people to deal with. But even then, Slumped was able to start pushing forward. Gray Boy is taken down by Walnut. There's so many demos happening in this game, like I said, on both sides. I can't tell if that's a coincidence or not. Maybe they're just trying to get that little bit of leverage to try and get that last point or start making that comeback. Slumped slowly trying to just push it in a favorable position, able to launch it off the wall right over Gray. Oh, this could be big. Very few people to contest it, but Gray coming back just after getting juked, able to block that ball.
Your dog fresh off of 100. Gonna wait for just the right moment to move on in, but Slumped. Nice backboard defense.
Ooh, Oni could have a pretty good shot, just barely missing that specific mechanic, just trying to get it into that goal. Your dog playing defense, just trying to keep it away from the Cavemen. Heading about a minute left in the game. This is like, somebody's got to score a goal here soon, or else we're going to be seeing overtime. And Cavemen only need to score one more goal to win everything. So I guarantee that this is a very tense situation for them right now.
Now Your Dog looking things over, gets a demo onto Slumped. Off to the other side of the field, fresh on Boo. Slumped off the respawn, can't get the block. Is there a follow-up? Doesn't quite look like it, and still stays tied at 1 apiece between these two teams. Now we're down to just half a minute left in this game, and Slumped has breakaway play, but he can't center the ball enough for it to be counted as a shot on goal. So both teams still staggering toward an overtime with 1 goal apiece. Less Slumped, nope, not have a teammate there that can make it happen.
Getting down to 15 seconds left. Your Dog gets demoed. But they're finally starting to push it towards the Cavemen's goal. This is real close. 10 seconds are ticking down. Somebody doesn't score here soon. Your Dog going for a good shot, but blocked by Oni. Oh, this could be a goal right here, but just barely touching the ground going into overtime.
Into overtime for what could be the final game of the match if Cavemen score.
It's going to be right there.
Krakens right off of the kickoff, too. Sometimes you do just get the perfect angle right off of the initial contact.
Wow. Finally, they managed to get it away from that. Well, it still is match point, but they're able to win this round. But like you said before, that's a lot more work that the Krakens got to do if they want to win. The Cavemen just got to have one more good round, and they can manage to win this best of 7. So we'll see if the Cavemen will continue to, or sorry, the Krakens will continue to just try and hunker down and just get through these next couple matches, or if the Cavemen are just going to find that one specific moment that they need to just be able to take their final round.
Well, this is going to be kind of a moment of what did I tell you with a best of 7. Things just have a way of going long, and we are now on to Game 6 of 7. We haven't guaranteed a full 7 games, but we're pretty darn close to it. And, you know, I got to think, it isn't just because they won the last round. I mean, obviously, you know, you could say momentum's in the Kraken's favor because they won the last round, but specifically because the only goal that the Cavemen got was off of that missed touch by the Krakens. You know, you got to feel, if there's a way to kind of turn your mentality around from a own goal, if that's the only thing that the other team scores their goal for, you know, that can help you get into a better mindset.
Exactly, and we got to hope that the Krakens don't get a little too excited here as they start pushing forward. Both these teams got to make sure that their mentals are just on point right now. No funny business or nothing. This is where things start to get extra scary right here, especially with the Cavemen being so close to winning. The Cavemen just have to make sure that they have everything perfect if they want to win this round. Same can be said about the Krakens if they want to make sure that they can get this chance to have their own match point.
Oni gets contact off the kickoff. Your Dog immediately goes in trying to get the shot on goal. Now retreat back on over to Kraken territory. What a good little tap by Slump to put it into the goal.
Start things off pretty quickly, unlike the last couple of rounds. First 13
there you go.
seconds. First goal from Slumped. Slumped was a pretty high offensive player in that first round, so maybe we'll be seeing a comeback of that. Kickoff starts once again. Things are pretty neutral to start off, and Slump taking down Greyboy, immediately followed up by Walnut getting taken down. One on each side, but Slump starts pushing it towards the Kraken's goal. Greyboy and Dog there to block it and start taking control, though.
And now Your Dog, unable to get much of a dribble there. Nice block by Caveman right in front of the goal again. And coming on in, Slumped goes under it. Walnut tries to get a tap on it, and the ball still hanging out in front of the Kraken's goal. They finally are able to get the clear back to midfield. Dangerous situation. But if the Cavemen can get some sort of insurance goal here, it's great for their chances of still winning this match. Ray, though, sets it up for Your Dog. Oh, he misses a shot, and that'll still leave the Krakens trailing by 1.
Oh, that was such an impressive setup. So close to landing that, but just barely missing it. We'll see if they're able to land another one of those. Oni's trying to go in there and take control of the ball as it gets launched toward his own goal. But we see Wrath going for a good shot, just barely missing, saved by Slumped. Now Oni's able to start pushing forward again. Greyboy trying to go up against the wall, trying to hit the ball. Your Dog pushing back, regaining that full boost just in case they need it, which they most certainly will. They're starting to push forward, uncontested. This could be it, getting another big goal. Balancing things out once again, a minute and a half into the match.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm glad that replay camera angle was where it was, because see all 3 members of the Cavemen move past the midfield mark. When you don't have anyone in that defensive half of the field, ooh, you're really flirting with disaster there on your rotations.
Ooh, a great start here for the Krakens. It was stuck there in the middle for a second, but one of them managed to just push it towards the Cavemen's goal. Hopefully they're able to keep this slight momentum going as Your Dog gets a pretty good hit.
Again? Can he do it again?
Oh,
he can!
Right,
nice.
Again, 15 seconds later, getting another goal. Your Dog is playing so offensively, pushing past every single one of the Cavemen's players. They are pushing so hard right now, making sure they can win this 3rd round. They want to win this.
Now 3 minutes, 14 seconds left. Krakens leading by 1. Kickoff. You see every member of the Cavemen going for that kickoff. They want that goal, and they want it bad. But that sometimes can lead to those open goals like we saw earlier. Oh, we'll see it just go in, though. Wow. Slumped. He scored the first one, and he'll score the second as well.
Man, there's so many goals that have happened in the last 30 seconds of that timer. Every team is just pushing forward as hard as they possibly can. And like you said, once they get past all the players, there isn't really a lot they could do. Your Dog went in for that block, but Oni just had too good of an angle. There wasn't a lot they could do after that point. Ooh, a great start there from Greyboy, managing to get it pretty close to the goal.
He's able to take the 100 boost away from the Cavemen as well. Your Dog in midfield.
Able to block the ball from going towards their goal. Walnut gets taken down on that demo, gets pushed towards the Cavemen's goal, but isn't able to find anything just yet.
We're at the halfway mark. Still
Oh,
tied 2 apiece, and a shot from mid from Slumped yet again. That's a hat trick for him in Game 6.
These goals are just uncontested every single time. It seems like both teams are having a pretty tough time staying on that defensive.
We've seen he's been the one who's had the most opportunities, I think, if I were to hazard a guess, of having the most goals, just like that, right, the fourth goal for Slumped.
Wow.
I mean, I can still finish my thought here because it still applies. In a lot of the earlier games, we saw opportunities for Slumped where the shot could have been made, but the contact just wasn't accurate enough, and the shot goes wide to the left or right. But right when it counts, right when his team needs him, Slumped is being deadly accurate in Game 6.
It's going to happen again, right? Oh, man, I thought that was about to be another kickoff goal. Wow. These teams are just so offensive right now, just pushing forward constantly. You have to notice the fact that a lot of goals have been scored, but that doesn't mean everything. There are still over 2 minutes left in the match, and a lot could happen in that time. So you can't really discount the fact that the Cavemen have great advantage, but nor can you discount the fact that the Krakens can make a comeback here. Wow, coming in hot, trying to get that goal.
Slumped trying to work with his teammates to find a clear. Now Walnut going. He has the boost so he can outrun Grey Boy, but he doesn't make contact with it.
Oh, a double onto 2 of the players. Wow, they are just getting a lot of these knockouts here. See the Cavemen trying to take control. Oh, the ball could roll in, but just barely off the ball. Wow. Knocked it into their own goal. That is rough. Just trying to get control of it. Just didn't work out in their favor. That is rough. Krakens are starting to make a little bit of a comeback here. 4-3. Cavemen are still winning right now as you go into about a minute and a half left on the clock.
Ooh, great kickoff win by the Krakens as well. A lot of ground, though, being yanked by the Cavemen, and it's going to head in, be credited to Slump yet again, who's up to 5 goals.
Man, this has been such a goal-heavy match. Comparing it to the last 3 rounds, there's only been like a max of 2 or 3. We're now at 8. There have been so many goals being scored. This is where we're starting to see people locking in so hard, just trying to get those goals as much as they possibly can.
Off into the corner we go. Your Dog will make solid contact with it. Push it past mid. Now moving into enemy territory. Gray watches on as Your Dog tries to make a shot on goal. Bit to the left, won't find it.
Oh, and there it is. Your Dog out of nowhere getting that 4th goal. Like I said, these goals are just going crazy. So many of them being back to back to back. 5-4 right now. The Krakens are getting so close to finally getting it in their favor. At the most, they definitely just want to get into overtime. See if these kickoffs have really been what has been putting things in the favor of each team. We're seeing that starting off with Grey Boy getting that good launch to start things out, getting it on Caveman territory. Slump is there to play good defense, but Your Dog with that full boost is trying to make sure they can get it anywhere near the goal as close as they possibly can. A good demo onto Slumped.
1 minute left to decide it all, possibly. Caveman holding on to this narrow lead.
Ooh, this could be it right here.
But not for long as Your Dog scores. You know, we've been talking all about Slumped, who has 5 goals, but Your Dog not far behind. He's gotten 4 for this game.
Man. Now we're seeing how well it's these defensive players. I gotta notice, it's the defense. The moment they manage to block that goal, they just push it all the way towards the enemy team's goal. Both teams.
Cavemen all go for the ball off the kickoff. Does leave the ball open for a few seconds after kickoff, and Krakens with a possibility. They go on in, but Slumped makes contact with it first. And
see 30 seconds-ish left on the clock. Your Dog trying to go for the goal. Takes down Slumped instead. And a good whip around right there, just trying to keep pushing forward here. 20 seconds, things get pushed towards the Kraken's goal. If Your Dog can't block it here, oh. Man, Slump was really close with that goal, but Oni might be able to push it in, just barely missing it. That ball was bouncing out of control.
Walnut tries to make contact with it. Slump gets demo onto Your Dog. And unless a goal is scored here, that ball is kept up in the air, which it isn't. It hits the ground, and we will go to overtime to possibly decide the whole match. Your Dog makes solid contact with it off the kickoff. Drives it in the Caveman's corner. He's demoed shortly afterward, however. And we'll see the ball. Either team could grab it.
All the Cavemen need is one goal right now to win everything right now. This is for all the beans. If they can just get that goal. Greyboy going in, getting the 6th goal, putting it at a match point. Round 7, just like you had expected.
I told you.
Final round. Wow. Man, that was so close. But Greyboy coming out of left field, launching it directly into the goal, putting it at 3-3. Wow, I got to highlight this again. It's those defensive players, it's both Dog and Slumped who stick on the goal most of the time, who've been scoring the most goals. I just got to notice that the moment that they're able to block it, half the time they've been pushing it all the way over to the enemy team's territory. Like, I can't highlight one team over the other. Both of them have this exact same thing going for them. So it's been very interesting because I don't see this kind of gameplay happening this frequently in Rocket League.
Well, there's a lot to judge in those little seconds that you are going for the goal in defense. You know, you got to work out the ball's trajectory, whether you're in a good position, if you have enough resources to go for that ball. And we're just seeing, I think, a lot of these save attempts by the defending teams, whether it be Kraken or Caveman. Both of them have been guilty of this throughout the match so far, of sometimes just overthinking it a little bit, just going a little bit too, diving on in with the boost a little bit too much and going flying past the ball. And that's something that just comes with practice and general mastery of the game, is getting in kind of that sixth sense dialed in so you can know where the ball is going every time, because you're very quickly able to calculate that momentum.
Well, and like we said, it's all about that mindset, especially now in the match point for both teams. They got to make sure that they don't falter at all. If either team wins this round, it's over. So they got to make sure that they play their absolute best. Starting off, your Dog was able to knock it towards the Caveman side. Wrath backing him up, getting a pretty close angle there. And the Cavemen are playing some pretty good defense right now, just making sure that they can't get it in the goal. Xander finally able to start pushing things forward again towards neutral ground.
Slumped, now left chasing after the ball. Didn't flip reset, so he'll fall back down to the ground. Now Oni, good opportunity here. Slump pushes one onto the goal, and he'll find it. First goal of the game, less than a minute in, 4:24 left.
That was so close. We saw your Dog trying to boost in there as fast as possible, but Slump just had such good trajectory on that ball, that perfect angle to keep it as far away as possible, and making it such a fast shot. It was really out of his control at that point.
Now we'll move into the next kickoff. Slightly better contact by the Caveman. See how quickly they can get to the ball after they've all filled up on boost. And Slumped, ball gets away from him, and he heads up onto the ceiling. Your Dog now with a dribble back up the field. Has to go past two defenders. Oh, puts a nice shot on goal. That would have got in, but nice save by Slumped, who's on the quick counterattack to score one for the Cavemen.
Uncontested right there. You managed to block it and just take it all the way back towards the goal. Once again, proving my point over and over again. Hopefully for the Kraken's sake, they have made such a good comeback right now. This is so much pressure being put onto them right now. The Cavemen, also a lot of pressure. I can't really say there's any more for either team. Across the wall, into the goal. What even happened right there? Your Dog just balancing everything. I got to see that replay again. Squeezed, pinched between both of them, and just at that perfect angle. Giving the credit to your Dog getting that goal. Wow, that was
yeah, sometimes the stars align and it just works out that way. The pinch creates the perfect angle. If you're the leading team, you can't let that get to your head too much. Just got to continue on. Caveman still in the lead by 1 goal. Gray now, he's not going to get to the ball before Slump does. He's able to get a whole lot of territory and quickly puts it in there for the 2-goal lead yet again. That's just what I was saying. Don't let it get to you. Just play the best game you can, and situations like this will present themselves to you.
We're seeing another pretty goal-heavy match so far. We're only a minute 15 in, and yet we're already at 4 goals. These teams are just making sure that they can get as many of them as physically possible. They want to make sure they can win this round. Such high pressure. I imagine everyone on stage is tense right now. Slump going in at that perfect angle, scoring yet another goal. 4 goals in this match so far. Slumped is an MVP right now, going in, getting every single possible angle, getting so many goals. The Krakens have to find some sort of levers. They got to stop Slumped before he keeps scoring these goals.
3:39 left. Kickoff. Oh, still in center for anyone to grab. Both players kind of canceled each other out there. Oni demoed, slumped with possession around the corner. Oni respawned and might not even come into play. It's Walnuts for Skola. Took him a while, but he scored it just when his team needs him. It's kind of like with Slump, like I said, when his team needs him the most in games 6 and 7, they're there, and Cavemen are dialing it in for a commanding 5-1 lead.
They must have had something waiting for this last round just in case they needed it. Some sort of hidden strategy, maybe some magic powers, who even knows. See things starting off, Slump just trying to push it towards the Kraken's goal. Your Dog is able to finally retake control, to push it towards the Caveman side of the field. Trying to use that high boost. Gray Boy backing him up. Wrath backing him up. It's that triple team up, but Oni, they weren't ready for it. But it turns out I was wrong. Your Dog went all the way back towards the goal to block it. Oh, but Slump going in 6 goals. I think this is the most we've seen out of any team in any of the rounds.
Yeah, might have the chance to actually make it a Brazil. That's a 7-1 scoreline should that arise. Cavemen are just 1 goal away from that. And we're not even halfway through this match, 2:58 left. Good flip side of that, though, is that there is plenty of time to recover. 3 minutes, you can score 5 goals in 3 minutes.
Absolutely, I've seen more than that. We saw 6 goals in 2 minutes. So if that doesn't prove that point, then I don't know what does.
Oh
my goodness! Right off the bar, just barely squeezing its way into the goal. They have been on point with finding these specific angles. Oh, man.
We'll officially get a Brazil for Game 7. Question is, can that deficit be built? Can they chip away at that deficit enough to maybe drive this into overtime? The Krakens, they have their work cut out for them, but they have enough time to do it. We'll see Your Dog starts the long journey, trying to get the clear, but he's denied. Gray now with control of it, loses the ball, and Oni might set up for somebody. Nope, instead the ball just kind of dies off to the corner, and we're officially more than halfway through now.
Demo onto Slump, starts giving the Krakens a good way to start pushing forward, and now another one onto Walnut. They just bring out everything they possibly can. Oni's trying his best to take control of the ball again. Slump is backing him up, but Your Dog with a great save right there. You don't want to get that 8th goal scored on them, especially when it's such a big deficit. Caveman knock it back towards the Kraken side. Oni does his best to keep pushing it forward. Is unable to. Slump is able to back him up, though. Oh, man. These saves are really, really close for the Krakens. They're just doing their best to make sure they don't get any bigger of a difference right now.
Ooh, nice beat by Walnut on that 50. It gets a lot of ground for his team. Staying up for Oni. The touch, though, sends the ball clear up into the backboard, and they won't be able to recover before shots deflected over to the side. Krakens with an opportunity as Gray moves it up the field. Slump, though, going to provide a bit of resistance to that. Now he's put the Cavemen back into the driver's seat here. Can they get it away from the Kraken? Maybe score yet another goal. It's a possibility, and
another one.
I honestly got to call out also just the discipline of Oni there, because sometimes when you're in the mood, you just go for the ball, but Oni realizes, hey, Slump's already got it for us. I just need to pull aside, let the ball go in. I don't need to mess this up.
That just shows that they're really perceptive, just making sure that they're watched for every specific little thing that could make sure that they get those goals. So yeah, like you said, just making sure you got that discipline, but also just making sure that you're communicating well, you're understanding what's going on with the ball.
1 minute left in this match, and Walnut gets a demo onto He's Wrath. See Slump just watching over the ball right now as Krakens looking to gain possession, looking to gain that clear, but having a bit of trouble with that as we have about 40 seconds left. Both teams taking a little bit of a passive attitude.
See Gray Boy trying to start pushing forward. Walnut is slowly but surely making their way over. Your Dog backing him up. Oh, but blocked by Slump at the last second. 30 seconds remaining, and they're going to score another goal at 9-1. I have never seen a difference this big before in a Rocket League game. The Cavemen are just locked in so well right now.
Not really much to say at this point. Sometimes just enough is enough, and with 30 seconds left, I would really like to score. The Krakens did give us a great show when on this match, so I would imagine that they deserve at least one more goal here because they have been a very formidable team. If not that, then a huge round of applause as we hit 0 because it's not because both teams driving into Game 7, matching each other at various points. And with 5 seconds left, we'll count it on down till the final horn sounds, and that should do it for this Rocket League match. A win by the Cavemen in Game 7, but a good effort by both teams.
Yeah, I've really got to highlight both teams right here. The Cavemen started off so strong, and they managed to put up such a great effort right there. But then the Krakens, they had a very, very efficient comeback there, going from just 1 up to match point. Cavemen managed to show off their prowess once again in that last round, getting such a high amount of goals. But yeah, like you said, highlighting both teams, absolute fantastic plays from both of them, just very incredible.
Well, nice ending to the Rocket League match, a nice healthy match, best of 7, win all 7 games, so that's great. Congratulations to the Cavemen, and best wishes to the Krakens also, who made a great run of it as well. But that'll do it for our Rocket League match. We'll take a little bit of a break, get set up for Smash Bros, and then be back with that matchup, so don't go away. We'll be back with more esports after this. Welcome back to the IETA 2025 Expo, and we are currently here in the main ballroom ready for the second part of our first day of esports action here. We've got some Smash Bros. Crew Battle now, where we still have CUNA High with us from our Rocket League match, but we now also got Nampa joining us, ready to go up against them. So high school v high school matchup here, and I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined again by AJ Pepley. Call all the action in this Smash Bros. Battle, which is going to be a best-of-3 crew battle.
So usually that's not actually what I would see personally, because usually when we do casting for that, we usually see one-on-one battles, just going down, taking down those stocks. But seeing crew battles is going to be a little interesting, a little different. Just a lot more chaos going on screen at the same time. Bear in mind, the players are not quite ready yet. A few technical difficulties to go through. But other than that, we'll be starting here pretty soon.
Yep, it'll just be a matter of just dialing in those settings, because especially with these fighting games, you know, with how split-second stuff can be, you know, different players can be very particular about what settings they want in, how the controller is. Some of them still, you know, want the arcade setup. They bring their own arcade joysticks and everything.
Exactly, and you want to make sure it's fair for all players, and as long as if every player has the settings they want, it technically doesn't give anyone an advantage over the other. So as long as everyone has the settings they want, that will be as fair as possible.
And we are just ready to dial it on in, because, yeah, as you said, there's very much a focus on, you know, what stage is advantage towards one player or another. You know, everything has to be symmetrical. Everything has to be all good, and it just has to be very particular, you know,
exactly.
to a point where you walk outside, you see a curb on the street, and you say that gives an unfair advantage to the person on the curb. I mean, that's the mindset we're dealing with here.
Exactly, and it's way more complicated than something like Rocket League, which we just saw, because with Rocket League, since it's like for the most, well, I mean, it's all online, but with Rocket League, it's way easier for each individual to change their own controls. But with something like a Switch, it's way harder and it takes a lot more time. So it's not necessarily a surprise that we're having some technical difficulties. But of course, I'm sure we're all looking forward to getting started soon.
Yeah. So it's going to be a case of we just take this as it comes, you know, just
exactly.
Just hang back, chill back. I mean, a lot of characters also to select in Smash Ultimate. Largest the roster has ever been.
Yeah. Might be getting started here soon. We see the lineup here. CUNA Caveman versus Nampa High. Seeing the same team as we saw last time, like you said, but finally with a new contender. We can actually say CUNA this time instead of just their respective mascot, because they're not both from CUNA this time.
All right, off we go. Be getting into stage selection. So many wonderful stages to see ahead of us. Only about 10 or 11 that they can actually choose from.
Yeah, and usually only a select few of those get picked, because these players, they know exactly what they're doing, and they know which stages favor to their specific characters. So why pick a stage if you don't think it would work as well with your character? Like, we see someone like King DDD with the Gordos, the little spiky balls he likes to throw at people. You usually would want a pretty flat, neutral map, because then the Gordo doesn't bounce off of other platforms or get stuck in anything else. You could just keep it controlled and basically exactly where you want it to go. But if you pick a map with a lot of different platforms, a bunch of walls, it's just not going to work as well for your character. And I definitely do emphasize the DDD, because that Gordo is one of the main parts of his moveset that people love to bring out, because it gives this slow, heavyweight character really fast, really hard-hitting projectile if they manage to use it correctly.
Yeah, but if the other player is fast enough to respond to them, then they can be deflected, in which case then the DDD finds himself in quite a pinch.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, if you're trying to hit that, if you're trying to make that projectile move really fast, you got to start by swinging your hammer real slow. So that does give the enemy ample time if they notice you going for that swing. So it's something I really have to emphasize with Smash, is it's all about knowing exactly how your character works, yes, but also knowing so much about so many other characters. And you don't have to have like that same deep level of knowledge as you do for your character, but you definitely got to know at a base level how every other character works, because if you don't know how the enemy is going to work, you won't be able to fight against it. Like if you go into battle up against Bowser and you think he has like, I don't know, a ranged weapon like Fox does, then you're not going to know what to do, and it's going to take a lot longer to adapt to it, rather than if you know his exact moveset being big and slow and hard-hitting. So if you just know at least at a relatively base idea of how each character works, you won't really get a surprise as much as people who don't play the game as much would.
You see the teams all lined up in the front row, and that's pretty much for good reason, because you can think of this rule set as a lineup. You have the 4 players on each team, each one with 3. They're called stocks, but if you haven't seen Smash, you could just call them lives to play with. Once a player loses all of their stocks, then it moves on to the next player, and if you get through all 4 of them, whoever gets through the enemy team faster picks up the win for that round.
And more specifically, for those of you who don't know, losing a stock means getting knocked off the battlefield. A little different than a health bar than you'd usually see. Instead, it's a health meter that builds up from 0% to up to 300%. And the higher the percent, the faster they can get knocked off the battlefield, and if they go off screen, they lose that stock. So just keep in mind watching those specific percentages, seeing which player might get targeted a little heavier by those harder hitting attacks, because you're just going to want to knock those stocks as fast as possible. You want to get that edge.
So many great memories with so many of these stages, really encompassing so much of a Nintendo history.
We might be seeing Rainbow Cruise here. We've seen that the players have had it highlighted for a decent amount of time here. Going from random battlefield to it.
I would just,
back,
yeah.
We'll end up seeing here soon when they actually select.
Okay, it is the greatest surprise for me to see random battlefield thrown out there, because for a lot of competitive Smash events, even if you can set every stage to a random battlefield or random just platform, there's still only 11 stages that are usually picked. But here, we guarantee that everyone's fighting on an even playfield. It's all going to be battlefield arrangement, but we get a little bit more variety in terms of the...
It'll just make things a tiny bit more interesting. And whenever I play Smash, I love going random, even with the character select sometimes, because I'm just like, I want to see what happens. Just try somebody new, see what happens. So it is nice that since they are going to be picking their own characters, we will see them picking a random map just to spice things up a little bit. And even with that random map, it might go in the favor of a certain character, so we'll see if that ends up being a problem for either of the teams.
So it looks like we are all locked in. We got Ness and Luigi, which could also give a huge impetus on the Luigi to take the early initiative. I mean, if he can win in neutral and be able to force Ness off the side, Ness is probably, in my opinion, only surpassed by Little Mac in having like a really difficult up special to pull off to recover.
Yeah, it can dish out a lot of damage, but if you don't manage it properly, then yeah, it could be pretty rough. So we'll see if he's able to control this character well enough or not. Might be getting started here in a few seconds. We see the teams shaking each other's hands, making sure that it's a very positive and fun time, because that's what this is. While it is competitive, we should also be having fun at the same time. So I'm looking forward to see the good energy coming out of this while both these teams play to their max capacity.
Well, for me personally, that's where that's what Smash is to me. You know, Smash to me is at its best when you got 4 players all lined up on the couch and you're just there to have a good time with your friends. Exactly. You know, that's where my fondest memories of Smash come from. So keeping that mentality, you know, keeping it in, because let me tell you, when it gets competitive in Smash, emotions can run high. But
absolutely.
If you're all sitting there with the mentality, hey, we're all going to have fun here, let's just, you know, let craziness happen.
Yeah,
and that's a lot more of an enjoyable experience.
Getting things started here, we see once again Ness and Luigi going up against each other.
1, go!
See things getting started. Luigi immediately going in there trying to dish out some damage, but Ness goes for a pretty good grab. Luigi starting a pretty hefty combo here onto Ness, bringing up to nearly 60% already. Keeping the pressure high and knocking Ness off the map just like you had suggested earlier. Wow, that was a very, very quick knockoff right there.
Difficult air recovery to pull off, but he finally finds him. Brings him up to 37%. He's going to want to hopefully just trade this stock on back to bring it down to 2 apiece before things get really out of control.
Barely missing that grab with the pack. There's that up special right there, just trying to make sure they can get that damage in the air, but we saw that Luigi was doing a pretty good job at dodging it. Going for that neutral heavy right there, but oh man, Ness is keeping the pressure high, just launching so much damage out, but Luigi is there to back it up and bring them up to 78%, continuing. Now they're at basically the same exact health meter, except, oh man, that was a hefty shot, taking down, trading that stock just like you suggested. He's on a massive disadvantage right now, being off the stage right now at 107%. He should catch himself to get back on neutral just barely and start dealing some damage to Luigi. He's got to make sure he can deal as much damage as possible to try and balance it out and get that early lead off of Luigi.
Nice recovery by Jaden. Will be able to make it back and get some damage in on itself. Down up to about 125 if you round up, and that's going to be too much for Ness to stay in there. Gets the lead back for Cuna.
That side tilt was hefty. He has been using those neutral heads pretty efficiently right there, just managing to deal that damage. But Ness has got those combos. Both of these players have been doing some very efficient combos, followed up by those heavy hitting attacks. Both of these players, they just know exactly what they're doing to deal off as much damage as possible. Just saved barely by the directional input, just barely dodging that lightning knocked by the Ness. But it wasn't enough. Trading that stock once again, 1-1. Ness at a slight disadvantage, being at 30% versus Luigi, who's at 0, just getting respawned. Good neutral right there, dishing out some damage, launching him up into the air, following up with some up tilts right there, just trying to dish out as much damage as possible. Good parry from the Luigi right there, but not enough to block that fire and the combo. That combo right there has been dishing out so much damage there onto the Luigi.
Yeah, both players still at roughly even, but this could be the opening for
Oh,
Nampa, and they find it against Cuna.
That
go into a one-stock lead.
Wow, that comeback was crazy. Luigi had such a powerful start there, getting that early lead with that first pick, but Ness managed to make that comeback, make those combos hit hard, and finally was able to get that third and final stock off of the Luigi, leaving them at a slight advantage. And it seems, for those of you who don't know, this Smash does not have every character unlocked.
Listen. We came here to have a good time, okay? We're on the couch. This is, it's Sunday afternoon. We got the pizza out. We're just playing with friends.
Well, honestly, this is one of my favorite parts about Smash, is just having, once you just play through these normal matches, you get to unlock different characters as you go forward. So we'll see if the Ness is able to beat the AI right here, just giving us a little bit of a break.
I mean, he would certainly lose all of the glory he had. I mean, he would technically win the first round, but if you lose to the CPU here, you're going to lose a lot of cred.
Yeah, well, so far things are looking pretty well. It's taking some damage, but it still has oh my goodness, what did I just say? What is this Toon Link doing? That damage is so hard. It was like 50% just moments ago. Wow, this is like even more tense than I think winning the competition, beating the AI is like, this is stressful.
I thought he was lining up the side smash. He finds PK Fire there. Can he get the final touch? Toon Link just holding on.
Good grab and there we go.
What does it say that I was just as entertained with that one there? I'm a bit worried for myself. Well, but hey, Toon Link's now on the board.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of Toon Link being played recently, so if anyone wants to pick him, now's the chance. I mean, I was looking at this at the start, and I felt like it didn't really look right.
It was.
I assumed, and I was just like, okay, maybe I don't know all the DLC characters, and so maybe that's why, but that does explain the problem a little bit. Isabelle being picked as one of the characters. We'll see what the other one ends up being. Potentially a Ryu. Going into this, two very different characters. A cute little dog managing a cute little island versus a heavyweight boxer, basically.
Trivia. Do you know what breed of dog Isabella is?
I don't, actually. I don't.
She's a Shih Tzu.
That makes sense, actually. Yep. I think I'd heard that a while ago, but never...
Also known as they were bred to be lapdogs in the most literal sense, in the fact they were known as feet warmers. Like if you're on the couch or in the bed, they just lay on their feet. That's what they were designed to be from the very moment of their inception. I think they were made by breeding a Pekingese with a Lhasa Apso. And so, again, that's enough dog trivia here. Isabelle, character in Smash you can play.
Well, while we're waiting, what's wrong with saying a little fun fact, right? We're seeing, though, that Isabelle did potentially get switched back to Ness like we saw previously, which I wouldn't really...
Which, yeah, you kind of have to. If that's the one you chose to be your three stocks, each player has to choose the character they're on.
Yeah, but we do see a new player from the enemy side, so we might see somebody new. We saw him hovering over Ryu, we saw him hovering over Simon. maybe we'll be seeing one of those two, or maybe we'll get a
Do you know what the biggest benefit of this is, though, not having the full roster unlocked?
Is that if the enemy players have somebody that they're really good at and it's not on the roster, they can't play them?
No.
No.
Steve isn't here.
Oh, of
I
course,
mean,
yes.
all of a sudden, this is the best day ever, as far as I'm concerned in Smash.
Well, curious to see if somebody else, what they're going to end up picking here. Switching up those titles to try and pick somebody, or get those controls that are better suited for them, and we get a Marth. Not quite the same level of big buff dude that we saw him hovering over previously. Doesn't mean Marth can't put up a real heavy fight, though. We'll see how things end up going this time around. Start things off. Ness is balancing things out.
If I remember correctly, this is another brawl stage. We've gotten 2 brawl stages thus far.
That is true, yeah.
So people who have a lot of nostalgia for brawl are definitely going to be happy. Going to make sure Ness has 1 stock just as we left the last round before getting down into the action. We get a thumbs up from both the players, and off we go to the races.
Good start here from the Marth, just dishing out some good damage. Trying to land that charge. Oh man, that block is very impressive. Dodging that charged baseball bat swing and blocking the fire. Good down tilt, just trying to dish out good damage. And a good grab combo onto Ness. 76%. If this Marth can manage to dish out that 1 stock, that's all they need to keep things balanced once again. Ness going for that fire combo.
This is what you call playing with house money at this point. You're already ahead. Any stock that you can get from Marcus is going to be great. Just getting a bigger advantage for your team at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I guarantee that if he can manage to get that stock, they'll just put him at a good point. Ooh, managed to block that lightning and the parry launched it. Wow, that follow-up, that was a crazy combo. Great job from the Marth there, managing to balance things out once again. 9-9, 3 players, 3 stocks each.
Yep. Okay, wait. No, might be my favorite part here now.
Go on.
Well, we might see it here on the screen here.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We might have a newcomer. We just don't know.
If we see Steve, how are you going to feel?
Okay, no. Well, he's at the very end. Okay, remember, they go in order of release.
I forget. I keep thinking that it's randomized for some reason. But,
well, the stocks do carry over, but the particular damage doesn't. So good news for that Marth is he'll go back down to 0%.
Ooh,
and we'll have Kirby now join the fight.
It is always fun to see Kirby because he's just going to eat anything it comes across and just use their powers against them. It makes Kirby such an interesting character to fight against. So let's see if the Marth can manage to avoid getting eaten and just keep that pressure high without facing too much pressure.
3, 2, 1, go!
I won't lose.
Start things off. Mild button check before people get ready, and they start going in right out the gate. Good start there from the Marth, dishing out some damage to the Kirby. He's just trying to find a good opening here. This is with the hammer and falls to the consequence of that, but gets a good grab onto the Marth. Trying to land those slams, but those platforms are just so difficult. This is, like I mentioned earlier, with having those specific stages, this is one of the downfalls of picking random because Kirby does really well with those slam attacks, but just having those platforms in the way makes it really difficult. And Marth is somebody who can just swing through any platform, doesn't really have those same issues, so Kirby is at a slight disadvantage right now. We're seeing that, but fortunately he's able to start dealing some damage and just trying to put things in their favor.
Guy managed to get about 22, but still trailing about 1 for 3 in the total damage ratio.
Marth trying to get those hits. Both of them going for those swings. And oh! Wow. Very solid hammer swing right there. That good heavy is all you need sometimes. He's trying to get a little closer to balance. This Marth is just struggling to find a good shot to land on the Kirby. Oh, just barely missing that hammer swing. That seems to be one of the best things that the Kirby has in its favor, because if he can't land those slams, he can definitely land those swings. Pressing that slam on the top platform once again. Ooh, a good side hit. Oh, right off that edge platform, putting that Marth in a really tough spot. You can't get back up because you get hit immediately by the slam right afterwards. Kirby starts taking some more damage. Another good swing from the hammer. Not quite enough to launch him off the edge.
Huge opening. Getting him up on these platforms right here, like you were saying, allows him to get those slams down and take 1 stock away.
This is definitely what we're going to be seeing from the Kirby, is just trying to get the Marth off of that neutral platform. Because the moment you have that airspace, that's exactly what the Kirby needs right there once again, landing that slam attack almost 20% in one go. See if the Marth can manage to land some more damage before losing another stock. Hopefully taking Kirby's to match things up once again. Decent damage being launched on both sides. Just trying to find a good pick, a good hit underneath the middle platform right there from the Marth. Oh. Gets eaten by the Kirby. Trying to dish out any damage with those powers as possible, but it seems like Martha's knowing exactly where to stick on that lower platform.
Oh, he's still finding a way to get hits on him.
Oh, and another great slam, up to 80%. And hasn't even lost that first stock. This Kirby is playing very efficiently even after that slow start that they had. Missing that slam, and oh, the Marth just barely got that last hit. Cancel that hammer swing, and we see Kirby trying to go for it, missing it, losing that first stock. 8 to 8 stocks right now. So very balanced. Marth is at a slight disadvantage right now, being at about 80%. Only a couple heavy swings or a couple of good slams could take out that next stop that he's got. He continues to play on that neutral platform, not letting any of the other platforms cause problems for him.
Now, not that it always comes into play, because usually rounds end before this, but we do have that timer in the upper left. It's taken so long for just one stock from each player to fall.
It is a bit of a stalemate right now. The Marth can't land those hits because the Kirby's jumping around everywhere, but the Kirby can't land those hits because the Marth is just staying in that spot that he can't work with. Right as I say that, though, another good hit being landed. Ooh, super close with that hammer swing. Might have been able to take down that other stock. One more good heavy, and that could be it in getting that second stock. Marth starts trying to dish out the damage. Ooh, a good dodge there. Hammer swing trying to land it. Oh, dashing into the Marcus, just trying to dish out the damage. He blocks the getting eaten, and that up tilt is what he needs. Takes down Kirby to that third and final stock as we get lower down on this timer. Oh! Wow. That was a heavy hitter right there, almost 30%. Kirby's in that block one, blocks a lot of that damage, manages to dish out even more to this Marcus. Let's go for the slam once again. You gotta find that very specific angle if you want to squeeze between the upper and lower platform.
Oh my goodness. Still up to 160.
Ooh, just getting hit on the tail end of the slam. 177%. Things are super close for this Marth. But if they keep playing well, if he manages to avoid getting hit by any heavies up here soon, he might even be able to take down the Kirby before he can take down that second stock. Wow.
94.
Dodging that swing, dodging that other swing. So many dodges and shields happening from this Marth. Just got to make sure you're locked in.
There it is, finally.
Now you got to see if this Marth can at least deal out that last little bit of damage to launch the Kirby off. Keep things in their favor. Kirby starts dealing some good damage. Sword swing and that dash. Another one to fold up. Launching those attacks over and over again, but that air cancel makes it so he does not get eaten again. Good side attack as the Kirby slowly makes his way back up towards that central platform. Good block of that hammer. Starts dishing out some good damage. 114%, just one more good heavy could take down the Kirby and start giving them a slight advantage here.
Tries to go for the down slam, but didn't quite get it.
Minute left on the timer. Things are looking pretty close here. Whoever hit that zero, then those health bars are just at max, and the one good swing is all that matters. So I guarantee this Marth just wants to get that last hit before things get balanced out again.
Well, they definitely could if that timer does hit 0.
Oh, but that side hit is all they needed. Taking down that third and final stock.
I cannot afford to lose.
Now, who do we think we'll be seeing next? Who do we think we'll be seeing next? That's the real question.
Are you talking about what the character's going to play, or what the computer brings to the table?
That's up to interpretation.
Oh, it's going to be Rosalina.
All right, it's Cuna's turn to try and manage to beat the CPU.
Although this should be pretty easy. I mean, on this particular stage, you can just really bully the other person just off to the side.
Yeah.
Very easy to get KOs on this particular stage, even when you don't have a lot of damage, if you just push them off far enough one way or the other.
though, that could mean spell disaster for the Marth too if the AI does that exact thing to him. Just trying to poke at her, just doing a little bit of damage. Finally able to bring up to 23% for both of these characters. Very lightweight, very fast. It's been kind of difficult. A lot of damage being dished out by the Rosalina, who seems to be spamming very similar attacks.
Oh, but this
Finally
right
getting
here.
a tilt. Oh, just barely missing that opportunity. A good parry from the Marth right there. Like I said
Okay,
before, I think
opportunity.
it's more
No,
pressure.
oh.
We're 73%, just a couple more good hits, and that could finally allow us to move on through the tournament. This is not something I can say I was expecting from today.
No, but I'm not complaining.
No, absolutely not. It just adds a little bit more fun to things.
Well, also, any opportunity to hear Super Mario Galaxy music in the background, I'll definitely take.
Adored Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh!
Oh, that was close. The directional input just barely saving him from getting knocked out by the CPU once again.
Oh,
man.
no!
That must be crushing. Well, even with that unfortunate loss, fortunately for Cuna, it doesn't actually mean anything in terms of doing well in the tournament, assuming they didn't want to play Rosalina anytime soon. Going back into this, we'll be seeing the Marth once again, but now Nampa's going to be picking a new player, a new character with their new player. Waiting for things to get started up once again, talking to each other, potentially some technical difficulties, some other issue they want to get worked out. Like we always say, we want to make sure it's as fair as possible before we get started. Oh hey, there's the Isabel.
Get the Isabel pick.
Maybe it was just the other player on Nampa's team looking at Isabel, making sure that they had everything that they wanted ready. So, about ready to get started here, just getting some last kinks set up, making sure that nothing goes wrong here. Talking amongst themselves, making sure things go well, checking everything, making sure they got the right buttons, right players. What do you think we're going to be seeing out of this Isabel? What do you think they're going to go up against this Marth? Do you think they're going to manage to get that one stock just out of
hopefully we see a match in the next 20 seconds. Let's just take this one step at the time.
Well, that's why I started to talk about something random, get the gears turned.
There
it is. Never mind. No gears need to be turned today. We're just going to be watching these two duke it out. Maybe Isabel will get that only stock that Marth has left, or maybe we'll see Marth get a 1 or 2 or even 3, depending on how well things go. But you can't say for sure.
Yeah, he's only got one stock to deal with.
It's just like we mentioned earlier with Rocket League. They only have one stock to work with, but that's a lot of pressure that can be put onto the enemy team, making a lot of progress. Starting things off, Isabel's already dished out a lot of good damage there. Man, they're placing some real difficult traps for this Marth to push past, and then immediately hitting him with the fishing rods. This Isabel has no funny business right now, dealing at already 95%, pulling it up even more.
He's been getting a lot with that up.
Ooh, almost comboing him with that fishing rod into the trap he had set. Oh, just barely surviving, getting brought up from that edge point and back on the neutral stage. And there it is with the sign. Very, very quick, very efficient. Third and final stock for the Marth, bringing things to 6-6. Once again, this has been a very, very balanced game so far. I haven't seen very big of a deficit from either team. Go into this next matchup. Like we said before, we're going to be seeing the same character being brought out on Cuna's side with the Isabel. We're curious to see what else we've brought out now that we won't be seeing the Marth. New player, new character. Or maybe they'll also want to take Marth. Who knows?
Stop the battle.
Now the pick is going to be Isabel.
What is our old Marth?
Isabel.
Isabel picking the specific costume that they want. You got to make sure that you look your best while you play your best. Switching around the controllers, making sure each player has specific things that they want. Switching controllers, switching controls. Now we see David playing as the Ryu. Now we're going to be seeing a little bit of different gameplay. There's been only really lightweight characters so far, but Ryu is much harder hitter than any of the other ones we've been seeing. Definitely get up in their face and dish out those high-hitting combos as fast as possible. Maybe that will be exactly what they need to push past this Isabel. Ooh, missing the combo on the wrong side. Getting hit by the fishing rod. Damages are about relatively similar right now, both at about 25%. Right as I say that, though, the fishing rod getting brought out again. Ooh. Oh, man. They've got to be extra careful of these traps that are being placed by the Isabel. Like I said, every single time going in for that attack, getting hit by it immediately afterwards. And you finally hit it out of the ground with that down light hit. Probably going to go and place another one. That fishing rod, how does the fishing rod deal 20% damage? Like, I gotta wonder what is on that fishing rod.
Have you ever been fishing? It hurts when the hook actually gets you.
I suppose that I can't argue with that logic.
Don't underestimate the fish hook, okay?
Maybe she's got some real heavy swings too. Like we're seeing there, getting that first stock being brought out, but a good side hit from the Ryu, just trying to deal out that damage. Match things up once again. Good uppercut onto the Isabel, being things up to 110%. Oh, wow. They planted that trap, but immediately afterwards, that side heavy just took down Isabel.
Okay, but he's not falling into the traps again. You know, she's having to rely more on that fishing rod.
Yeah, that fishing rod has definitely been the MVP of her toolkit, especially now that those traps don't fly as much as before. Nearly getting hit by the signpost. Oh, but launching himself directly into it with that whirlwind maneuver. Fortunately, he's able to start making some progress once again, 50 to 90%. Able to block that fishing rod as it makes its way back, and dealing a heavy hitter combo with another uppercut to finish it off. Oh, man, that hit from down below, taking down the trap and a lot of damage onto her. Directional input saving the Isabel once again, but one more good hit, and it takes another stock. This Ryu means no funny business anymore. He knows exactly what he's going up against, and he does not want to deal with it.
Okay, nice dodge on the party popper, most deadly move too.
That could have been dangerous, but he was ready for it.
Yeah, it might have gotten confetti in his eye.
He's being very, very aware of what Isabel has to work with here. Now dealing a lot of damage, dodging a lot of her own attacks. Missing the fireball, getting hit by the Isabel. Once again, that trap is there. That could be deadly if he goes in the wrong spot. He's ready for it, though. We're seeing that situational awareness. He's just watching everything right now, making sure he doesn't get hit by it. One more good hit, taking down the third stock out of nowhere. That is a huge difference, going from 6 to 3 and 1, and not losing any more than just one. This Ryu pushing forward, keeping that pressure high. Nampa High only has one more character left to work with, versus a character and 2 extra stocks. And the challenge finished. We love seeing
yes!
Well,
that's what I call progress right there.
Well, whoever switch this is, I hope you weren't hoping to go achievement hunting all yourself, because these people are going to be getting them for you. Seeing the Ryu once again. Kirby getting brought back out for the potentially last round, but now a new skin, going for that grayscale instead of the base one. Getting started once again, proving the point of the lightweight versus that harder hitting medium-ish character.
We've actually gotten the update here. Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for an update.
Well, yeah.
Update, so I was waiting for one.
Oh, just the team swap around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, getting back in there.
Cuna's the one with 3 stocks left. Nampa's in the lead.
Yes, yeah. That gives Nampa High quite a big advantage. Cuna doesn't have a lot of space to work with, especially now that they're being hit for a lot of damage. 56 to 26, 30% difference right now, but the Kirby is slowly but surely making those moves. But those ranged attacks, charging up those heavy hitting moves is really helpful if you want to dish out a lot of damage, but then it gives a lot of time for the enemy to work with. Another great parry going in for the side attack, taking down another one of their stocks. Cuna only has 2 remaining. Nampa still has 5. This Kirby has to bring out everything they possibly have. Oh man, but the issues of the Marth being on that bottom floor are not an issue anymore. This Ryu will get up in your face and deal out that damage as quick as possible. Another good hit from the Ryu, balancing this out pretty close. 52 to 69%. Ooh, but he continues to land those sword swings. Ryu working with using the platforms to his advantage to catch the Kirby off guard. Ooh, good dodge roll. Great block to follow it up from the Kirby, but it still isn't enough. Another good hit. It's pretty close right now, but the Kirby's taking even more damage. Hasn't been able to take down a single stock yet, but it's pretty close. Ooh, only about a 6% deficit right now. That's right, just trying to find any good hit onto the Kirby to just keep things going. This could be it. They keep dodge rolling past each other, just trying to avoid any hits. Good block and a good follow-up. That riposte was insane, just trying to get those last-ditch hits. 100% on the Kirby, but the down slam out of nowhere. This Ryu has one stock left to work with if he wants to take down the Kirby before they go to the last of Nempa High's players. To one right now.
Now Keena's just got one stock left, and only their hopes that this Kirby can hang in there.
Yeah, Kirby's last chance to take this round. Like you said, a good chance this will be a 2 out of 3, so this won't be the end of it all, but this could be the end of the first round, where we see Nempa High taking the point for themselves. But a good slam onto the Ryu. Is he going to follow up with another one? He is, and he manages to land it just barely sneaking off the side of that platform. But the fireballs are being used to keep the pressure on this Kirby High. 99% now, this Kirby might have a chance of making it through. But the damage is being brought out really quickly. Those slams are basically his saving grace throughout this entire battle. Oh, but the good down slam. Oh, man. Nempa High takes it. Ryu with the third and final stock. Giving Nempa High their first point.
It is true, he won, but the true battle lies with
Incineroar.
Yeah, I know. If you don't win against CII, then all the glory you just got for your school goes down the drain. Okay, it's all or nothing here.
Yeah, well, these are two very similar characters. Very get up in your face, dish out damage combo characters. We'll be seeing how this plays out. Man, a lot of damage is being placed onto him right now.
Oh no.
Is this going to be a repeat of last time when we saw another one of the CPUs taking out our players? It might be. 84%. Things are looking extra careful. No damage at all onto him. What in the world? That is brutal. Oh.
So the true winner is the computer at the end of the day.
I guess so, yeah. AI's taking over the world, and we're starting with Super Smash Bros.
Oh.
Oh, that was certainly an eventful round right there. That damage was just insane.
Oh, that was fun to watch.
It's getting a lot of good laughs out of Nempa, though, I imagine. Managing to win the first round and then losing to an AI, that's pretty rough. But here we go, getting things started on to match point for Nempa High. They just need to win the second round, and then they can take Smash Bros. But there's a good chance that Kuna will be able to make a comeback, and maybe they can take both Rocket League and Smash. See how it ends up playing out. Ooh, a bit of a switch of the characters now with the Captain Falcon. Gold-plated and everything, wanting to make sure he looks pretty before he goes in there and starts fighting. You got to battle with style, right? Like, you got to make sure you look good before you go into battle.
2, 1, go!
Starting things off. Not exactly sure why we see the Ryu taking down the stocks, considering this is a new round, unless I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine.
Because I believe this is a new batch of 12.
Yeah,
so
we
should be restarting at full stocks.
Okay, so we get a no contest.
I'm glad I pointed that out. That could have been
the polite
bad.
clapping. Everyone does the polite clap. No contest.
No contest.
Well played. Well played.
Well, there you go. Ryu, you're going to have a little bit more of a chance to go up against the Falcon. Not having just one stock to work with, I imagine that would be pretty nice. And hopefully, if either of the players did not like the map that got picked, well, you're going to be seeing a new one. Maybe. There's a pretty low chance, but it is possible.
Well, now that we're into the proceedings, we got everything lined up, I have to imagine this will just turn this around, get into it pretty fast.
Oh, we're seeing an Ike instead, switching things up a lot. Making sure that everything's prepared, just talking amongst themselves, making sure that everything is okay before we get started. I said it before and I'll say it again each time. Everyone's got to be prepared. You've got to make sure it's as fair as possible. Curious to see what's going to end up coming from this second matchup. It was very balanced at the start of those first few rounds that happened, just taking down, being brought down to one stock. taking down the other person's 3 stocks, and the next round started up, that last stock got taken down, bring it back down to even again. Repeat happened, but then out of nowhere, the Ryu came out swinging, literally, and just managed to take that for Nampa High.
Oh, I thought we were ready, but...
Not sure exactly what happened, but hey, it's okay. They've got time to work with, we've got time to work with, it'll be just fine.
I think the loss of the instant aurora took its toll.
Maybe this Ike can switch for all the different skins that he has to choose from. Giving us something to talk about while we wait.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of different options, all look relatively the same. Most of the Smash Bros. Skins are usually just different colors, just to make things simple. But of course, every character has a slight switch up, like the last one that we're seeing right now. It's a bit of a different style that this Ike is bringing out. Can't say I know much about this character, but I imagine it's definitely a reference to a specific game or specific scenario.
Oh. Yeah.
Still talking amongst themselves, but everyone's seated once again. Might be starting up here soon.
Oh, we need to
I
get
see
the
what's
name.
happening.
Okay.
We're getting a new moveset, new name.
Very important. Remember when this used to be texting? This was the way you texted.
Well, I fortunately got introduced to the internet right after we got. Well, I did use a flip phone. I wasn't that young, fortunately, but it had a nice little keyboard on it, so I was right in that middle ground. I'll decide who they're gonna play as we get started. We're gonna be going with a Ganondorf. First of the big heavyweight characters that we're going to be seeing. Going to make things interesting. Ike, once again, more of that medium character. So this Ganon's going to be a little slower, but hitting a lot harder. Because Ike's got to find those specific angles, those specific instances to push in and just dish out that poke damage up until they can start hitting harder and dealing those stock takedowns.
Well, each team back up to 12 stocks. Looks like...
Going to be seeing what we're expecting.
Yeah, I'm seeing thumbs up, but I'm not seeing the start button being pushed here. There we go. Thank you.
Starting things off. Second round begins. Match point for Nampa. They just got to win this one, and they can take it all. Great start there from the Ike, dishing out 11% of damage. Ganon goes for a pretty good grab, trying to dish out a combo, but this Ike has been doing a good job of dodging. Right as I say that, though, this combo is brutal up to 76% and taking the first stock in about 15 seconds. Right as I said something, I am so sorry to Kuna for, I must have jinxed it or something. But that doesn't mean it's over for this Ike here. He still has a lot of time here to work with. Still has 2 stocks and starting dealing out some good damage to the Ganondorf.
Although similar to the Kirby that we saw earlier, Ike has a lot of these moves that require a slam down from above, which makes these platforms a little bit more difficult for him to navigate.
Ooh, but right as you say that, you find a good point for him to be able to take advantage of that. Oh, this Ganondorf is just taking advantage of the fact that it doesn't matter what the map looks like. He just hits close and he hits hard. He's able to land those shots, such as everything he needs. Getting pretty close to taking down that second stock. Ooh, he just barely missed that sword swing. That could have been it. But he manages to survive, just barely, in a good combo follow-up. And then this Ganondorf is awfully stubborn, not wanting to go anywhere. Good block, followed by a good swing. Over 40% right now. That's another good shot that's likely going to take down this Ike. A lot of shields getting brought out. They both dash at the same time, not able to find good hits. That slam, able to take down the Ganon and match things 2-2 right now.
A great opportunity to still stay in the lead, taking the stock off.
That
Ike
down
making it
everything they needed.
Yep.
See the Ganon trying to go for the grab. The Ike is there at the ready to start dishing out some more damage. Those slams have been everything he needs to start dealing damage to the Ganondorf. But now he's taking advantage of that, going for those air up tilts, just trying to dish out that damage while the Ike is exposed. It's over and over again. We're seeing that it's got to show that Ike, you got to move, you got to find a new place to start attacking from, or else it's just going to keep using this over and over again. I can't say I always appreciate spamming, but it has its places. So. Ooh, a good up attack, bringing up to 106%. Just one more good swing from the Ganon, and that could be everything he needs to knock out this Ike. Good follow-up, bringing up. It's pretty close right now, only about a 30% deficit. Slowly being pushed up forwards even more. Going over 100%, but that up attack is all he needed to bring Cuna down to 9. Putting the Nana High at a pretty good start right now. This Ganondorf only lost 1 stock, taking down 3. This is what they need to start pushing forward.
All right, we'll just get a clean reset here. No AI shenanigans.
No Incineroars to absolutely smoke somebody. That has to be the highlight of the entire day so far.
No damage. Didn't give 1 hit on that Incineroar.
All right, starting up things again. We're seeing the Meta Knight being brought up against the Ganon. A bit of a, maybe not as tall, but definitely a lot wider. So
we'll get a blast from the past here with the 64 Zelda stage.
They're getting a little emo to start things off, showing good sportsmanship, and just so they're going to have a good time, and almost getting knocked out at the very beginning. That would have been brutal. Great parry and the riposte to follow up right afterwards. 30% in 1 swing. That just shows you do not mess with somebody who hits as heavy as Ganondorf.
Yeah, Namba's been really
and
good.
And he falls off the edge, missing that platform, the edge of the platform barely. That is a fantastic start for the Ganon here.
They've been really good with their shield timing.
Oh, man. And the follow-up grabs, wow. They are just they have mastered this character down to the T. Bring up to 102%, only taking down that 2nd stock. This Meta Knight's having a tough time, and bring him down to 1. We're not even a minute into this round yet. Oh man, this is rough. Meta Knight finally able to start dishing out some more damage, but the Ganondorf gets back on the stage, ready to start dealing more damage. Not able to fight anything just yet. Again, it's only up to 30%. Being a heavyweight character, he's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Another good grab.
Meta Knight, on the other hand,
Meta Knight's a little lighter weight. He can dash around a little faster than Ganon, but he goes for the swings and isn't ready for the charge swing that the Ganon had at the ready. Great parry. What is able to find a good follow-up attack? Oh, that was close. The damage meters are relatively close right now, 56 to 40%. I thought he was going to fall right there. That was going to be brutal. And the follow-up, another one, another 3 stocks by the Ganondorf. You do not mess with him right now. Wow.
Okay, but I can think of one way to stop the momentum.
And how's that? A battle against Incineroar, perchance?
Well,
Ooh,
maybe not Incineroar, but Sheik. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
this
Sheik,
is the true test of the Ganon player's ability.
As much as I love Sheik, my favorite character, one good hit, and you get tossed like a salad. That's just kind of how it goes. Yep, there it goes.
There you go.
69%. Almost fell under the bridge, though. That would have been pretty funny. Well, this is their chance of redemption. Yeah, already at 95%. I think that's only been 3 hits so far. Real close right now. Just trying to land those throwing knives. Just trying to just show any damage. There it is, taken down. Hey, if anyone wants to play Sheik, now it's your chance.
Because that really sold me. So if you want to play Sheik for some reason after that performance, you can.
Well, I would like to play Sheik, but I'm not playing the game right now. I'm just talking about it. Though I definitely do not want to fight any of them. I would get demolished even faster than that Sheik.
Well, we don't have Sheik, but we have Shulk. We have Sheik at home.
I suppose we do. Well, get things started here. Shulk picking the skin that they want just to make sure. Gotta have those cosmetics. Started. This is going to be pretty. This is a lot of pressure here for the Shulk. This Ganondorf is going to take down 3 stocks twice in a row. Good grab and combo to start it off. 40% in the first 5 seconds. Oh my goodness, he's going for these heavy hitting combos. This Shulk has not had a chance to land anything.
Oh no.
We're at almost 100%, not even 15 seconds in. And there is first stock already. This Ganondorf is not playing around. He wants to make sure that Nepahai gets that 2nd win as fast as they possibly can. Good charge going in, trying to hit that combo, but the Shulk is a bit faster, just being able to dodge around, bounce around, make sure that it doesn't get hit. But sometimes that isn't enough. Ganondorf might be slower. That doesn't mean he's slow. Oh, that would have been deadly if he landed that sword swing. That was fully charged. A good dash into the Shulk right now. Wrong side for that kick right there. And they're just blocking each other. Ooh, good parry there from the Ganondorf, bringing up to 125%. One good hit is going to take down another stock. Oh man, down to one stock remaining. At this point, I'm worried that Ganondorf is going to be the only person to fight on Nampa High's team.
Switching up. Buster, Renato, power.
Make a bit of a change-up. Hopefully that's what this show needs to make that comeback. Another good parry. These reposts have been very brutal the whole time. Currently the Ganondorf's at 93%, so only a couple more good hits. Finally take down another one of his stocks. Also, I'm just now noticing the Ganondorf is at 3 stocks. He should only be at 2.
But it might not even be a factor.
It might not. Well, if he gets taken down, that'll be his chance to balance things out once again.
I mean, it is a statement if it doesn't even matter, because he still gets a clean 3 stocks.
And it might not. Those kicks are heavy.
Yep.
And he falls off. It doesn't even make a difference. This Ganondorf has been sweeping so far. There's only one player left for this Ganondorf to go up against, and he might even be able to get that full sweep. Man, that pride, if I managed to take down 12 stocks or only lose one, I would not stop talking about it. I gotta be honest here. My ego would be boosted for the next 10 years.
But do we have the ultimate? I thought we were going to have like the ultimate Shakespearean twist here.
Probably going to be seeing the Ryu. We saw the Ryu before, just not on this team before. We'll see if they can bring out the Ryu to the same level of success that we did from Nampa High. Getting things started. This is a lot of pressure on the Ryu here. Hopefully the Ganondorf will actually take that first stock. There we go, just as we had expected the first time around. Now we can finally get things started. The invincibility saved him from that good first kick from the Ryu. Bouncing around a little bit. Ryu's trying to find a good opening, but Ganondorf, he's really tall and he's got a really big sword. So if you stand on that platform above him, it's basically impossible to avoid getting hit by that. 102% already. He's ready for that kick. Oh, but a good dodge there from the Ryu. Man, but that shield wears off last second. This is brutal. Ryu finally landing a few good shots, moving up to 44%. Making that bit of a change-up that I imagine they were hoping for. That dash dealing out a lot of damage. A good swing onto the Ryu. Oh, it's that stab from behind. Good. Oh, and he falls off the platform. There's one stock left versus 11. I just got to say it now. I don't think this is possible for the Caveman. I mean, it is entirely possible, but this Ganondorf is just unbeatable. Good hits right now, up to 42%. Ganondorf hasn't been touched in this hot second. Good swing, bring them up above those platforms. He's trying to find any good shots onto this Ryu as possible. This is to grab this Ryu. He's trying to dodge as much as he possibly can. Another good hit onto the Ryu, trying to find that grab. He gets hit with a follow-up. Oh, and he slams him out of the map. That is a crazy way to end it off. Wow, fantastic work. I have never seen anybody play a Ganondorf quite like that. Oh my goodness, 11, all 12 stocks are only losing one. That is some fantastic work and an absolutely impressive a way to end off the best of 3.
I mean, that feels like the perfect way to end it. You know, that's like an ending statement right there.
Absolutely. Did we see any follow-ups with any AI up after that?
You know what? That doesn't even matter at this point. I think we've decided here and all, you know, who the true champion is.
Yeah.
Nampa winning that crew battle 2-0. Yeah. So
great
very
job.
nice job.
They still put up a very good fight, especially in that first round, but oof, that Ganondorf, man, I cannot get enough of that. That was insane gameplay.
Well, that does it for the esports competition today, but you're going to want to join us tomorrow for day 2 of the IETA 2025 conference, where we will have Overwatch to bring to you. But for now, thank you. We hope you have a great rest of your day.